Hello and welcome to Batteries, Models and Transport. I'd made an unboxing video before, but then when I began speaking, things got too long-winded and the phone didn't record, so we'll just begin again. Okay, so I've got a water tower for the small 90 by 100 centimeter Chapelon-Crosti layout, which will also double up for double O running. In fact, mentioning double O running, you see it right beside a double O double-decker Crossley DD42 bus. And just to give you an idea, of course, this is it's on the plinth. It's not really, it's a wee bit taller than it actually is. But you can see that we can get away more or less with the size, so this water tower are going to work both in HO and double O. So I got this one Vinted. It was cheap. It's actually in really good condition compared to the standards of some of the stuff I buy and then have to rebuild. Signal boxes, for example, and railway stations and so on and so forth. This is actually a very nice model, and it's been assembled quite well. It's also held together here with a very tiny piece of copper wire, if you see there, a wee bit of electricity wire that's been wrapped on by somebody using a fine pair of pliers. What's missing? Of course, the ladders are missing. So one and then down. The seller on Vinted, I paid this €5. He said in the ad, it said the ladders are missing, but I have spare ladders in here. This is a collection of bits and pieces, odds and ends that I bought on spares that I bought. And I remember that the spares also included some telegraph poles. I wonder where they were. They must be in the same box down there at ground level. There's also a very nice street light here, and there are some ladders. There's a railwayman in there. There's a priest. There's a Catholic priest there reading. There you go. We'll have to get a wee church for him. Here's the telegraph poles. The telegraph poles are there. There's at least 2 telegraph poles that we can use, and the idea is to use these as patterns and then make my own, unless I come across some other very cheap telegraph poles. I had come across some nice telegraph poles, but somebody swiped them before I could buy the things. There are what looked like bus stop poles here, which we could recycle. The bus stop poles I'm thinking at how do you call it, the Brunel layout. So this stuff here is going to be very useful to repair the missing ladders. I'll get a photograph. I'll find a photograph of a finished Faller. This is a Faller water tower on the internet, and I'll save the photograph and I'll actually replace the missing parts, basing all the repairs on the actual model. Then what else have we got here? I mentioned before, Leeds City Transport Crossley DD42. So Crossley is a make of British buses that, if I don't remember badly, they went out of production in the 50s, and they were absorbed by AEC, Associated Equipment Company, industrial vehicle manufacturer that was very famous for the AEC Routemaster, iconic London bus, and also the AEC Regent. And I'm not going to go into details now, anorak details of the buses. Crossley remained in business as a bodywork manufacturer for some time after the end of actual bus chassis manufacturing. And Crossley Bodywork, it's a singular, it's an uncountable noun, okay, here I am teaching English, is easily recognized by the stepped up waistline on the rearmost windows of the lower saloon and of the upper saloon, and this was done to strengthen the bodywork above the rear wheel arch and above the staircase, so to reduce sort of bending and flexing. And this is something that was very, very, very distinctive in Crossley bodywork. Very nice model. This is the collection called Great British Buses. I'll show you the box there. There you go. And I'll leave it there. It's nice. And I've got an a London Transport RTW, the RT Wide, which was the first 8-foot bus in service in London, which was the 8-foot wide version of the RTL. The RTL was practically an RT, so an AC Regent, but built by Leyland. So it was an AC Regent to all effects, but with a Leyland engine and Leyland running units. And the RTWs, I'll make a video with the buses of these two separate Great British buses, and I'll talk about the RT in detail, the RTW, and they were a class of wider RTs. Not here, this is a Crossley. That were anyway very, very useful because drivers were able to train on the 8-foot wide buses, because then the route masters were 8-foot wide. So back to the Crossley. The Crossley has a very distinctive face, we could say. So this very distinctive Crossley radiator, and the high mounted headlamps, and the distinctive low hanging sort of very prominent wings at the front, which make it look a bit like an owl. So I've always liked the look of Crossleys since I saw the very first Crossley in a book about buses I got when I was something like 9 something. My grandmother bought me when I was visiting the Glasgow Museum of Transport, when it was still in Albert Drive, so at the old Coppola Hill Works in Glasgow. Okay, so that's that for the moment. Cheerio. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and comment. I always like to read your comments and answer them. Cheerio, and see you next time, and have a nice weekend.